is the provision for all-inclusive dialogue to resolve the issues. And this inclusive dialogue includes everybody, because once the coup was carried out, it was no longer in the premises of SPLM. It engulfed the entire South Sudan. It took a turn where ethnicity was applied by those who want to hurt people. But it has gone beyond one party. And this all-inclusive dialogue will bring all South Sudanese together, political parties, civil societies, religious groups, youth and women, to look carefully at what brought us here and how we can prevent this in future. And this will come through honest debate among ourselves, and this has been provided by this agreement. This agreement also provides for all-inclusive national reconciliation. I think we need this very badly, and the sooner this agreement gets on the way, the better, that we will begin to look at how important peace is. How do we avoid disagreement? How can we debate? Instead of punching, we use debate to overcome our differences or to narrow down our differences. It's very, very important that these two provisions, the dialogue and the reconciliation for all South Sudanese, I think is very, very important. And SPLM appreciate this, and we feel this is the way to go, because armed struggle, as we all know, dialogue and reconciliation is what we in the SPLM General Secretariat would really focus on and participate to make sure that we put South Sudan back on track, and we begin working and focusing on building that nation and state that we all fought for. We fought to build a nation that is just, that is equitable, that is peaceful, and that is prosperous. We have not gotten there yet, and we shouldn't be wasting energy on anything else but building that country. So reconciliation and dialogue will put us back to that track, and we would really want to support that. We congratulate the government, we congratulate our team that went to negotiate, and in fact in SPLM we are bracing ourselves up to not only embrace it, but to explain to other people what this agreement is about and how important it is, and how we should all begin to implement it. So, ladies and gentlemen, before December 15th, we had called you and we told you that SPLM had a 5-month program starting from December. And this program involved registration of our members. After registration, we would have gone for congresses and conferences for the youth and women. And this will culminate in a national convention that will be held towards the end of April. And of course, the coup took place, and it made us to suspend our 5-month political program. And since the 15th, this General Secretariat has formed different teams. One of them is led by Comrade Nora, the secretary in charge of social affairs. They visited hospitals, they visited IDPs, they gave out what we could, like food, clothing, and non-clothing items, in solidarity, to be in solidarity with the people, because we know that the larger part of the humanitarian assistance is given by the government and the UN agencies. But we wanted to do this so that we can be with them and also explain to them that it's not the end of the world. When a child learns to walk, they fall, but they don't stop there crying. They wake up and they begin to learn to work again until they run. We want them to know this is a process of nation building. There is a down to it, and there is an up to it. There is a joy to it, and there is tears in it. And but we are going to get there. So that process has been very good, and we have even had opportunity to travel with the crisis management team to Eastern Equatoria and to Nimule, where we found 35,000 IDPs coming from all over South Sudan, but 90% of whom come from Jongole. So it's a process that we have adapted because, in a time like this, when your own parts, when your own family members are affected, you need to stand together. SPLM General Secretariat also has been working with other political parties. On the 31st and the 31st of December of last year and 1st of January, myself and 3 other members of this secretariat, we joined other political parties where we together came out with a communique supporting the elected president, denouncing violence and taking of power by force, and also committing to bringing peace and unity among our people. That is one. But we continue to work with other political parties. There was a symposium yesterday, and there will be many more. But SPLM, even though a ruling party, we believe we must stand in solidarity with other political parties in finding a path which is peaceful, a path that will bring development, a path that will unite our people, a path and a path that everybody believes is the way to go. So we have been working with other political parties also to build solidarity so that our voice would also be stronger, so that we would also be encouraged by them. But today, I also want to inform you that we have a 1-month program, and these programs are divided into 3 main areas. One is mobilization. It is headed by Comrade Antipas Nyok, the Secretary for Mobilization and Political Affairs. This program will be focusing on explaining to people SPLM's values and SPLM political objective, so that we are not mistaken for bringing the calamities to this country. Actually, what I've been telling people is SPLM's vision and mission and political objective of building a nation state has never changed. It is certain individuals who do not live up to the values and the standard of SPLM is those who have brought not only SPLM but the whole country into this mess. But SPLM continue to struggle for a just, peaceful, and prosperous country, and we are going to explain to people that. We are also going to explain to people that we are a democratic nation, and passing of power from one party to the other or from one individual to the other is through the ballot box. It's not through the barrel of the gun. And this is what our position is as a ruling political party. We do not condone now or ever anybody who wants to take power through the barrel of the gun, so that we distance ourselves from other people who have tried to do it. And then third, we also want to create awareness about the two very important peace agreements that has been signed. This is very important because people need to be aware of it, so that the process arrives them, they would have been ready. They'll be ready to participate when there is dialogue. They'll be ready to participate when the time for reconciliation comes. They'll be ready to participate if the monitoring and verification committee has been formed. They are going to be working in collaboration with the people, and people will be able to report or communicate to those committees, so that we implement these agreements collectively. So we are going to be explaining to people about this agreement that has been signed. We will also explain to people that the process that we started, the registration, the congresses, and the National Convention is not failed. It has just been suspended. Once situation allows, we'll begin with registration of our members, and we expect them to be ready. So that is the mobilization aspect. It is under Comrade Antipas Nyok, and we are ready to move us from next week, because our messages are ready and our team is ready to move. And then we have the second program is humanitarian. It's under Comrade Nora Zangabeo. She may incorporate more people in it, but it's generally focusing on finding out the extent, the level of damage that has taken place. We know that the government is doing this, but as a political party, we also want to have records of what actually happened as a result of this attempted coup. In this, we want to document the situation of people, those who need urgent address. Will bring it to the relevant government authorities, the Secretariat for, the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare. We are also working in collaboration with the National Crisis Management Committee. Once we are able to identify issues that needs immediate address, we would also be able to bring it to them. But we also have some little resources that we'll use together with a medical team. We have doctors who are SPLM. We want them to be able to also go and visit these areas and apply their skills in addressing the issues of health in those places. So that is the humanitarian program. We also have the last is security. We'll do the same. It's more of fact-finding, having a better understanding of what's going on in the different areas, so that when the monitoring and verification committee is formed, our members at the state level, at the county level, at the Boma and Payam level, will be able to be useful in terms of rendering report or consulting with this committee, so that the agreement is better implemented. Otherwise, I want to conclude by thanking the President for providing capable leadership in such a very difficult time. And I would also want to address the general public. The President has done his bit. How this country is going to turn out is our own responsibility as citizens of this country, whether we are going to take this agreement seriously and contribute to the dialogue and to reconciliation, and committing ourselves to stay out from anything that divides South Sudanese people, that brings calamities to South Sudanese people. It is our own responsibility as South Sudanese, and we must take this as an opportunity for us to reflect on our own self as well, whether indeed we have lived up to the expectation of this of nation building or not. If we have not, this is the time to correct it. This is the time to hold hands. This is the time to say, I'm sorry. This is the time to visit those who are sick, those who have been affected. This is the time to show brotherhood and sisterhood and solidarity and comradeship, because we need to put this country back to track and continue to build this country, because we have sacrificed so much over a long period of time. This is not the time to give up on South Sudan. This is the time to say we must correct these mistakes that we have committed, and this is how to correct it. And we embrace each other as we embrace the rich cultures of South Sudan and use it as a way of craving and creating our unity, so that we have a diverse but a united country, a country that is proud, a country that is peaceful, and a country that is prosperous. Cessation of hostilities. But as we're negotiating power sharing, wealth agreement, on the ground about soldiers who have been fighting very vigorously and they've just been asked to stop. We are talking about, on the other hand, some of the people fighting, not quite soldiers. Some are civilians, they are not organized forces, and therefore there may be difficulties in passing command through that. You know, I think all this should be understood in the context of the problem in South Sudan. I believe since the cessation of hostility has been signed, there has been significant reduction of shooting. And I think we should take it from there. It should not be written as this agreement cannot be implemented or there is a pressure on this. I really believe South Sudanese want peace, need peace, and on the part of the government, they've just done that. On the part of the other group, they are dealing with people who are not quite, some of them have never been under one command. But of course, he has a responsibility. Dr. Riek Machar, as the commander-in-chief of that force, has the responsibility of telling them not to do this in order to implement this agreement, because he needs it and we need it. But most importantly, the people of South Sudan do not want any more death resulting from this fighting. That is what I can say. It's difficult normally to implement cessation of hostilities because you have soldiers, some of them are traumatized, some of them find themselves in a certain corner and they're forced to behave. Some of them are very far away from command. Some, you may not believe it, may not have even heard of the peace agreement because of where they are. So I believe so far, so good. I think we've done well, and we should encourage the parties to this agreement to continue to work hard, to talk to their fighting forces, to keep away from the triggers of the gun. Your second question is whether reconciliation.
This is asking if, as part of the reflection, you look back over the